Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. Shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today? Late night episode. No D&D today. It got cancelled, but that's okay. Wishing a friend a speedy recovery. I just recorded late because I could not be bothered to record a bit earlier. But we can finally talk about the thing I was saying I was going to talk about like 2 days ago, but then I actually didn't talk about. That's the Nintendo alarm clock. Well, not just the Nintendo one. I guess the alarm or whatever in general, alarm clocks in general. But anyway, good evening everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 11:56 PM on Friday, October 11th, 2024. So what was I going to say? First things first, of course. I was talking about LPS Popular yesterday. I watched a video about it just to sort of get like a rundown on what it is, because I'm going to be honest, I'm not watching all those videos. Seems like it could be like a pretty fun time. As I've now learned, LPS Popular is different from LPS Popular Remake in the sense that different people actually made it. But if you ask me, like I haven't watched them, but it sounds like Remake is a bit more of a fleshed out story. It's not meant to be necessarily hate on the first LPS Popular or whatever, you know. I'm sure whoever it was, I forgot the name off the top of my head, had a fun time making it. But like when I was listening to at least a recap, I suppose, of LPS Popular Remake, I was like, ooh, that's a bit of a spicy story right there, you know. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're not here to talk about that because does anyone care about that as much? Not exactly like we're Littlest Pet Shop video. Anyway, another point. We're here to talk about the alarm clock. If you missed the announcement a while back, well, not a while back, probably 2 days ago I suppose, Nintendo were like, hey, we're making a new product, and they released, I think it's called Alarmo, right? Which is basically a Nintendo, not even themed, a Nintendo branded alarm clock. Which is a fascinating thing, you know. It's part of the reason why I think Nintendo ends up being one of my favourite game companies. They tend to be rather innovative in a very interesting way, for good and for worse. You know, Wii, fantastic. Wii U, very questionable naming schemes as well. Nintendo 3DS, Nintendo DS, fantastic. Nintendo 3DS, Nintendo New 3DS or New Nintendo 3DS. Why would you name it that? I don't know. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The long and short of it is that Nintendo have made their own branded alarm clock. And I remember I was watching a video, it'd be like, wow, Nintendo's having a monopoly over our sleep. They've got Pokemon Sleep. They've had a Pokemon brushing one, whatever it's called. And now they've got a Nintendo alarm clock. So they, it actually seemed, like, I'll say as a product, like, let's ignore everything else about it for a moment. As a product, it seemed kind of cool. Like, I could definitely see myself as like a younger teen to mid-teen or something, like having it. And being like, yeah, I love my Nintendo games or something, despite the fact I've only played one of these genres, or one of these franchises, which are available as a customization. But it seemed like something I would definitely have loved growing up as like a preteen or a teen or something, because it just seems kind of cool, you know. It's just obviously it's basically just a really fancy alarm clock, just with Nintendo license sounds, music, etc., etc. But that's basically all there is to it. It does some things which are like cool functionalities, of course, but a lot of these things are quite, how would I say, normal for a alarm clock nowadays. Like, obviously it's got like a soft awaking thing, so like it'll slowly wake you up with nice sounds, rather than just sort of like, bro, wake up, wake up, wake up. And it has a very interesting thing where it'll wake you up with the music to something, but then also play sound effects as you move and toss and turn in bed, which I was just like, that's a really funny concept, at least to me. The example they use was like with Mario music, and then there was just like, oh, the ba-ding, 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 the coin noise from the platformers. And I was just like, that's genuinely a very funny concept. But am I for or against it? I'm not against it necessarily. I think it's a fun idea, isn't it? But it does other things, like it tracks your movement, like it tracks how much you move throughout your sleep, which not so useful for me personally. At least I've used Pokemon Sleep before. Is Pokemon Sleep necessarily the most accurate sleep record in the world? I don't think so, but at least according to my friend who had both Pokemon Sleep and Fitbit's one, I think he used, I can't remember quite off the top of my head, he said, yeah, it's actually decently accurate, like decently reflective of his movements. And I use Pokemon Sleep. The thing I don't like about Pokemon Sleep is you have to keep your phone plugged in because it drains battery like crazy. Like insanely crazy. I'd much rather have like a Fitbit like on my wrist or something tracking my sleep rather than having to keep my phone plugged in for the entire night. But that's just me. If you use it, more power to you. But I use Pokemon Sleep and my movement logs were very uninteresting. As I say with my friends, I sleep like a robot. I literally go to bed, I fall asleep within like minutes, and I don't move for the entire night. And when I wake up, boom, exactly when I need to. That's just it. That is my entire sleep schedule. I don't learn a lot of information from that, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if I still have a picture of a graphs or something. I sent them to my friends, and it's literally just, it just goes outwards, like horizontally, then drops vertically, horizontal, and then spikes up vertically again. I don't even know if I have Pokemon Sleep on my phone anymore. If I do, then I could at least show you, but I don't think I think I uninstalled it. It seems like I uninstalled it. But yeah, I guess I like the concept of this one more. It's an alarm clock, so you know, it's something which is a bit more stationary. I don't know necessarily how good it would be at recording your movements, because I assume it's recording you through like, I don't know if it's actually infrared sensors, to be honest, but some sort of proximity sensor to see your movements on bed, which I feel like is very dependent on your bed setup. And I feel like it could probably, I'm not sure, get false reading, because it doesn't need accurate movement, it just needs any movement, right? I wonder if it records your voice as well, because that also can be kind of indicative of how active you are, I think, during the night. But yeah, again, I'm not a sleep doctor, whatever they may be called. So it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. I could not tell you how good or bad it necessarily is at doing it, but I was just like, that seems kind of interesting. But mostly it seems to be about Pokemon playing sound effects, I suppose, to sort of accompany you in your waking schedule, which is a fascinating sort of idea, I would say. Again, I'm not sure I have much of a need for it, but I'm sure some people would just be like, yeah, this is, you know, something I wanted, something like, but the thing about it, to me, which I think is the best part, is that it's basically promoting good habits in some way or another, but using this Nintendo branding. And I'm just like, if you have a Nintendo branding, if you have such, what's a word? Not unequivocal, but like widespread franchise, which appeals to a wide variety of people, and people generally adore / love, then why not like use it to franchise things which encourage good, healthy habits, like, e.g., but sleep, you know, sleep patterns, or like waking up properly, I suppose, in the mornings and things like that. That's kind of like, I see it as like, well, how could that be a bad thing, I suppose? I'm sure there are definitely ways it could be a bad thing, like maybe it steals all your private information, etc, etc, but that's, I feel like overreading into it a little bit too much. Anyway, the long and short of it was, that the alarm clock came out and I saw it announced and I was like, okay, one, rather sleep design for alarm clock. Two, I'm almost surprised that they've not released their own, what's the word, like packs, things to be like, hey, this is like Nintendo branded like alarm wake up sounds or something. I'm kind of shocked that it wasn't already a thing. But it wasn't already a thing, so that's why they have a whole product for it, I suppose, in the first place. But yeah, that kind of shocked me, if anything, just a little amount. But it definitely does feel like something which should have been like I can't believe this wasn't already a thing, is perhaps, that's probably the way I want to put it. I can't believe this was not already a thing. But yeah, what else was I going to say about this? But the major thing, which I think people were, at least my reaction was when I saw it as well, maybe other people had a similar reaction, maybe other people didn't, I don't know. It was more like, oh, battery depleted, oh no. Okay, I guess I'll change the Joy-Cons. But the major thing I was thinking, at least when I saw it, was like, oh, I wonder how much this costs. Apparently the price point is $100 US, which is I think about £80, but it's probably a bit more than £80 now because I think the pound definitely depreciated. And I was like, that is insanity. That is crazy expensive. Like I definitely expected it to be more expensive than the average alarm clock, but the average alarm clock is insanely dirt cheap. Like you can get probably a fine alarm clock for like £5, I guess. Like we bought a gimmicky one for my friend and it cost like £40. It was called the rolling alarm clock. I forgot what it's called. Rolling alarm clock. I think it was like £40 or so. Clocky, that was it. Yeah, it's £40 and then like when it goes off it like rolls away, so you had to like chase after it to make sure that you actually wake up and get it. But yeah, like that was like £40. If this one is like £80, hold on, let me see if that's true. $100 US in GBP, £76. Okay, and I was like, that is insanely expensive. Why is that so expensive? In a good way, in a bad way, I could not tell you. But it's certainly in a way where I'm just like, okay, you know, at least Alarmo would be like, oh, if I like saw it in a store or something and it was on discount, maybe I'd buy it. That is just sort of like, it needs to be on a heavy discount. But on the other hand, probably I'm not the target audience for it, which is weird because I do like Nintendo. I like Nintendo a lot. Am I a huge Nintendo like fangirl? Hit or miss. I certainly do like Nintendo, of course, but it's not the sort of thing where I would do it for abs. You know, it's not the sort of thing where I'd like get in this case a sponsored alarm clock for it. I would just be like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. There's more power to you, by the way. If you bought it and you love it and you like it, or you wanted it and you were just like, this is great, absolutely go for it. Don't let me be the one who purveys the things you like / dislike. It's just more the case of like, whoa, I cannot. It's kind of that sort of like, whoa, shook me out of it, where I was like, that is much more expensive than I thought it was going to be. But I will say that there must be something a little bit wrong with me, because when I was like watching a trailer and that sort of thing, they were like, oh, you could get like expansion packs if you have Nintendo Switch Online, and then they put a picture of Animal Crossing, and I was like, whoa, Animal Crossing! That's what I want to see. See, I think it would be legit waking up to Animal Crossing music. They also have a thing where like they play chimes at like every hour or something, but I'm just like, that would be great if you would play like the Animal Crossing music on the hour, or that hour, you know, sort of tide things over. I'd just be like, that's beautiful. Who doesn't love that? I can't see it in my Google Photos of Pokemon Sleep thing, so I guess maybe I took a screenshot of it, which doesn't make sense. But I can't see my image from me because Discord streamer mode prevents it. I'm just trying to remember how to search properly. What is my... I can't even see it because streamer mode's enabled. I guess I could disable streamer mode, right? That's true. Yeah, I'm trying to find my Pokemon sleep schedule because I remember it just basically being like, wake up, or go to sleep, wake up. Something along those lines. Wow, I have a lot of random images down here. But yeah, what I was gonna say was, what was I gonna say? Yeah, like, I guess I can kind of mostly torn about the concept of it, because I'm like, that seems pretty cool, like to have these sort of things, have it be themed. Like, it feels, after I saw it, I was like, this feels so obvious to me. Of course this should be a thing. Whereas it's like, oh, you would go to sleep and you would wake up. It would all be like Nintendo soundtracks and that sort of thing. Because let's be real, Nintendo have really fantastic music. they don't skimp out on music like every single time. And I would say Splatoon's probably a bit intense, I think, to wake up. But it almost feels like there should be something. Nintendo should have like an ambient noise generator or something. Like the same way that Disney had like the lo-fi Disney things or something, where it should be like a lo-fi Nintendo thing to go to sleep with or something. Because the thing with your alarm clock is you only hear the music when you want to wake up, right? And you only hear a short snippet of it before you want to snooze the alarm clock or turn it off, right? Like the alarm clock I have is my phone, as most people probably are wanting to do. And I have a piece of music called Radio Happy playing, which is from the Idolmaster series back when I was initially like a super, well, not, I shouldn't say super big fan, when I was a bigger fan than I was now. And like I've heard the intro part of that song so many times, I'm really happy, but it's fine because you barely get into the song, you just hear it like it basically ramps up in the first like 20 seconds of a song. Because people often say that you wake up, if you put your alarm sound as something that you like, you'll eventually learn to hate it. Not happened to me, so I guess I'm sort of impervious to that. But anyway, like having a franchise theme alarm clock, like it's sort of just like, that seems like such a Nintendo thing to do. Like it's basically an alarm clock with obviously the licensed Nintendo music, but also like the ambient wall screen, like what's it called, home screen wallpaper, etc, etc, is Nintendo themed as well. Just like people who get like smart watches often like theme it after certain things, but this one's actually officially licensed. But apparently it's selling like really well. Like it sold out in US, which by the way I think only the US can get it right now, and you have to be like a Nintendo Switch online member. And I will say, as an alarm clock, it looks pretty clean. Like it's very minimalist, which exactly appeals to my taste. There's nothing more, nothing less. It's red circle, button on top, and a stand, like these black sort of silicon stand. And I'm like, beautiful. What more or what less could you want? I'm surprised that Ring Fit Adventure also won out over Animal Crossing as the initial thing, but maybe they want Animal Crossing to sort of lure people in. But yeah, like I guess I find it more interesting proportionally than I should, because I like the concept of something which tracks your sleep and like you can get useful information out of it, but I feel like it definitely is maybe a bit more accessible in other things, a bit more convenient. I'm just more interested in how well it can detect you on the bed, see your movements, see when you wake up, etc, etc. So I feel like that might be harder than I give it credit for, or maybe it's completely easy, I don't know. I feel like it very much depends on the angle, because it's not an alarm clock which seems to come with like an adjustable tilt range, right? It's just got that one fixed range, so if you don't have like a bedside table or something, you had to put it on the floor, it's not going to work. You'd have to like put it on your bed, which I'm not really someone who likes putting the alarm clock on my bed. I at least have a bedside table, but to be fair, this bedside table is quite a high bedside table, so maybe it'd be too high up to actually see me. And none of this matters because I can't even buy it in the first place. It's not for sale in the UK yet, nor am I going to buy it unless the Animal Crossing one comes out. But even then, I'm pretty like used to my alarm right now, my good old phone. And that's the thing, if you want it for the alarm clock, you're not going to buy it, and it's not for you if you want it for the alarm clock. It's only for you if you want like a specific piece of Nintendo merchandise, really. I'm just kind of more shocked that they don't have you like playing a game or something in it. It literally is just the barest bones of alarm clock and sleep tracker. It feels like a very Nintendo thing to do, like, oh, you could put a setting on for the alarm clock to turn it off. You'd have to like beat a very simple game or something. That feels so Nintendo. Anyway, long and short of it is, yeah, I suppose if you want it, you know, pay for it. That's, I suppose, the nature of how capitalism works. If you want it, pay the price for it. If you don't, don't. But I would just say that, like, if someone gave it to me, I wouldn't be upset, but I would not buy it for myself. Would I buy an Animal Crossing themed one? Like, physically themed one? Probably not still, but I would consider it more, at least. Anyway, I'm going to round this episode off here, so if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.